Coming up with these intro skits every single episode, it's a lot of work. I wonder if I could… Now, let's see how this works. I have a Minecraft Let's Play series on YouTube where I play in a survival world of Minecraft which gets upgraded through all of the historical versions. I am currently playing in Minecraft Beta 1.9 Pre-Release 3. I'm creating an episode about the Enchanting table, and I need a short, clever intro skit involving one or two characters. If possible, it should have a funny punchline. Aha, it's working. Okay, what about… Now I reckon if I just take that and paste it into here… Alright, I think we're ready.
Two characters, Steve and Alex, are standing in front of an enchanting table.
What's this enchanting table for?
It's for enchanting your weapons and tools, dummy.
Wow, this is incredible. I can make my diamond sword even stronger.
Yep, but it'll cost you some XP.
XP? Like experience points?
No. Like experience pennies. Of course, experience points. What did you think?
I thought maybe it stood for extra pepperoni pizza.
Both characters share a laugh.
Come on. Let's get enchanting.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Minecraft The Journey with me, Bugman CX.
Not sure what happened there. Yes, anyway, we're here in our amazing Let's Play series where we're upgrading a survival world of Minecraft through all of the historical versions, hopefully all the way through to the modern day release. Whatever that'll be, whenever we get there, I don't know. It'll be a long, long way off, I'm sure. Today, I want to have a look at the Enchanting table, which was added in this version. We've already kind of seen hints of this because we had access to this through the debug hotbar in this version of the game, but I don't want to use it in this way. I want to be able to craft it for myself and explore it the proper way. So before I do that, there are a few things that I want to go through because a lot of the features in the Adventure Update have been added over time, and one of them is the experience system, and that ties in very, very strongly with the Enchanting system. So I want to do a quick recap on how that works, and then we'll get exploring this new feature. Now, I'm not going to take you through all of the gory details of the XP system because I've been through that in previous episodes, but there are a couple of little changes that we need to cover. First, as a little bit of a recap, as we know, if I go up and kill the mobs, wow, there are so many in there, you'll see that they drop these XP orbs, and the XP orbs come towards me, and then I absorb them, and as I do, my XP bar fills up. As soon as my XP bar fills up to the maximum, let's see if we can do that here with the skeletons we have in front of us, and it should be just about any second, maybe the next one. Now you can see that we have a full XP bar and the experience level in the bar has reset back to the beginning, but we also have this new experience level right here which says we're at level 1, and if we were able to kill a bunch more skeletons and fill up the XP bar again, which is exponentially more difficult for each level that you acquire, by the way, then it should take us up to level 2 and then level 3 and so on and so forth. And we need these levels because every time we use the Enchanting table, we require a certain number of levels in order to be able to get specific enchantments at different levels. We'll come on to all of that as we explore the table, but for now, at least we can see how many levels we have. As usual, during development and before releases were made public, Notch would share screenshots and information of the upcoming features. On September 30th, 2011, Notch started talking about enchanting. Working on item enchantments, it costs experience points. It's totally random. It has 3 tiers. What does an enchantment table look like? Good question. It's an enchantment table. This picture has some differences from the version we got in pre-release 3. The base block is a light grey texture as if it was made from cobblestone. Over on Reddit, Takio commented, "The only thing I would ever think on changing simply to see how it looks is to add a red cloth to it, to add the red silk touch that goes so well with magic." Notch loved this idea. Yes, awesome. Doing that. And very quickly he posted a newly updated screenshot. Super Snuffy also noticed in this new screenshot, "Is that a turning page I see?" Notch replied, "Yes, the pages flipped randomly every now and then. As players kept discussing the new look on Reddit, Zayn said, "Would be awesome if the book opens when you click it as well, kinda like how a chest opens." Notch replied, "Oh, it's more magical than that. It automatically opens up and turns towards players who get close to it. When nobody's around, the book is closed and spins slowly, because magic." The following day, we got our first glimpse of the Enchanting Table's interface. Here, it looks like there's a slot to put your item for enchanting, and then a whole bunch of weird text going on, but it's definitely not random symbols and shapes. This is the standard Galactic alphabet first introduced in the Commander Keen series. Players couldn't be fooled. They had translated this within 10 minutes. When it's translated, it reads, "Well played, internets, you're good. These names will be random and confusing. Each spell costs experience levels." Notch was impressed. I'm very impressed with how fast you've figured that text out. I've been busy over here grinding mobs because I think it's about time we create our very own enchanting table. The very first one, in fact, and to do that, we go over here to the crafting bench, and I've got the ingredients here. We need obsidian, we need 2 diamonds, and we need 1 book. Just like that, created our very own, the very first enchanting table. Technically, although I have got a few more, as you know, up in my storage. I've got hundreds of these things, but don't worry about that. I've created this little library in here, just a little room for a bit of enchanting on the side while we're hanging out here, killing all of the mobs. Oh, go away. And there we go. It's our very first enchanting table. Have a look at that. It's mystical because it's surrounded by bookshelves. You can see that it's drawing in all of these letters from the bookshelves into the enchanting table, and that's a very special effect. I think this will come into play later on in the game because right now I don't believe these bookshelves actually do anything, but the enchanting table is here and it does work. I've got myself some items that I want to enchant all ready to go, and we're going to explore this table bit by bit. I think I'm also going to turn down my mob sounds because, oh, you're so loud, at least in my ears. The first thing to note about the enchanting table, besides all of the lettering being drawn into the enchanting table, is the fact that it has this book on the top, and as we get closer to the table, closer, the book opens up and points towards us, and you can see the pages flipping right there as well, randomly back and forth. And as we move around, the book will actually follow us. It's quite an interesting effect, and this is something different, something new for Minecraft. It follows the nearest player all the way round. If there were 2 players in this world right now, whoever was closest to the enchanting table would have the book pointing towards them. Oh, look at that. Opening and closing, that animation is so smooth. One of the things I wanted to note about the enchanting table is that despite the fact that it's made from diamonds and obsidian, it's very, very easy to break. Let's just place this one down right here. And if I just tap it with my fist, the enchanting table is gone. It didn't even drop itself as an item, so we need to be very careful not to bash this thing with our fist or any other thing because we'll just lose it. And these are quite expensive. Once again, we have millions of them, but let's just pretend for a second that these things are incredibly expensive. As we know, the enchanting table introduces the standard Galactic alphabet. If we right-click on the table, we can open up the enchanting slots, and if I pick up an item, you'll actually see a couple of things that are interesting. First, keep your eye on this book here. If I put a helmet in here, the book opens as if I'm reading from the magical spellbook, but if I put something in that can't be enchanted, like this arrow, it stays closed and nothing happens. So I guess that way is how we determine what's enchantable and what isn't. Now, if I take an item and place it in, you'll see that we have the standard Galactic alphabet right here on these 3 slots, as well as whatever level each enchantment will cost for me to apply. We can use the standard Galactic alphabet to translate exactly what this says, but all of these words are basically randomly generated from a word list that's embedded within the code, and it's completely meaningless. In fact, every time you pick up an item and place it back down, you get a new set of words. These are literally just random words from within the code. Let's take a look though. If we bring up a cipher, we should be able to work out at least what the first one says. So that's BALL, and the next word is CUBE, and the last word BLESS. Ball cube bless. See, entirely meaningless. So how exactly does this enchanting table show the standard galactic alphabet in this interface? Well, it's a pretty straightforward method, and I'm going to show you exactly how it works. The game's regular font is in a file called default.png inside of the font directory stored inside of the jar file. You can actually change this file to change the font if you want, but the standard galactic alphabet is also stored here in a file called alternate.png. The file format, the shape of the file, the layout of the file is all exactly the same, so all we need to do is copy the default font and overwrite the alternate font, and it should change the font within the enchanting table. Let's give this a try and see how it works. Unfortunately, you can't create a texture pack to do this, and you need to replace the files directly within the jar file. But a jar file is just like a zip file, so you can open it up in a zip program and then just replace the files inside that jar if you want to do it that way. And that's exactly what I've done in my own world here. I've modified the game so that I've replaced the standard galactic alphabet with the default font file. So now anywhere that we see standard galactic alphabet text, it should be translated to the English equivalent lettering. But I've got to admit something first, maybe a little bit of not a confession, but an admittance. I've been over here working at these XP grinders, building up my levels, and I got to almost level 50 when, of course, I died, didn't I? Of course I died and lost all of my levels. So unfortunately, I've been back over here at the grinders and working away at building up my levels and making a few little tweaks to these farms, which I'll show you a little bit later on. But first, let's head over here to the enchanting table and have a look at what a difference this has made. The first thing I'm noticing is that there are standard galactic alphabet letters being pulled from the books and going into the enchanting table. And that's a little strange because I've definitely replaced to the font. So let's have a look in the table itself. If I right click and get this diamond shovel and place it in here, we can now read the words. Air free, Nictu, Elder, whatever that means. Destroy state demon sphere. That sounds like definitely good advice. But we can now read these, and as you can see, they're absolutely meaningless and have no bearing on whatever we're going to enchant, but it is a bit fun that we can now read them. I'm not really sure where the game is getting these symbols from, since I thought there was only one source. Maybe if you know what's going on here, you could let me know, but I was quite surprised by that. But now I think it's time to put this table to the test properly. In these chests up here, I've got some items that I want to test the enchanting table with. First up, a full set of diamond armor. So let's take that out and see how this works in the enchanting table. Right click and let's start with the diamond helmet. Now if I place this in, what do we get? We get 3 different enchants, and of course we have no idea what any of them are, but what we do know is that this one costs 2 levels, 13 levels, and then 13 levels. I can also pick up and replace this and get all sorts of different enchantments with, again, new levels. But once again, we have no idea what any of these are. So if we were to enchant this on this helmet, well, we don't know what it is. But let's give it a try right now. Oh, look at that, our first enchanted item. Let's hover over and see exactly what we get. Enchanted. All it says is enchanted. So let's pop that down there and try again with this diamond chestplate. Okay, here we get a level 1, a level 9, and a level 7 enchantment. What I can tell you though is that at the moment the enchanting system is unfinished, and what that means is that the enchanting table at the moment will apply the same enchantment to every item that you place in the table, regardless of the level. So even though this one will cost me 1 level and this one will cost me 9 and 7 levels, the same enchantment will get applied. So I might as well just spend 1 level and get that same enchantment. But what is that enchantment? Well, we don't know because it doesn't actually say. We can figure it out though, and I might come onto that a little bit later. But let's just enchant the rest of our gear here. Let's keep doing this until we get a level 1 enchantment just like that. Okay, and the boots. A level 2, that's fine. I've got plenty of levels to spend. So there we go. We have a full set of diamond armor, and it's all glinty and all glorious. I'm going to put this on and have a look at myself. Look at this, I'm all shimmery and shiny, and I don't often wear armor in this game, and the main reason for that is because you can't see my beautiful skin. But here we are with our glinty enchanted armor. I'm not going to wear this for too long because I don't want it to take any damage. I want to preserve this armor as our first set of enchanted special armor with special enchants, so I might just quickly run this down to the little collection area we have. With all these levels to spend, I'm going to enchant up some tools as well. So I've got some up here, a full set of regular tools, starting with the diamond sword, of course, and these others. So we'll pop them down into the enchanting table. Now, I suspect this will be exactly the same. Yes, we don't know what the enchantment will be, but let's pop it a couple of times until we get a level 1 or a level 2. It's fine. Like I said, I have plenty of levels. All right, enchanted sword. Do the pickaxe, and again, a low level enchantment, please, so I don't have to spend all the levels. This is good enough. I won't keep you waiting too long. Level 1, perfect. And the shovel, the last one. Let's get that one right there. We've got loads of levels left, 34 in fact, so I don't know what I was too worried about. But have a look at this. It's shimmering in my hand, and if I look at myself, what do I see? It shimmers as I hold it. That looks pretty amazing. It shimmers down in the hotbar as well. Does it shimmer on the ground? No. That's still something that it doesn't do. I'm sure that'll get fixed in future versions, but it just looks like a normal, unenchanted axe. I'm going to pop these downstairs as well, where I've got a little collection going, so let me show you where I've put these things. Down here in the little area where we've been storing all sorts of weird and wonderful things from this game, I've expanded the room a little bit, and I've got a chest over here where I'm going to be storing these things. Now, you might be wondering to yourself, what exactly is the enchantment that's been applied to all of these pieces of armor and all of these tools? Well, we're going to work that out by having a little bit of a look at the data inside of NBT Explorer. I'm running NBT Explorer alongside Minecraft so we can have a look at the information in my inventory as we go. Inside this chest, I'm hoping to be able to see information about the enchantments that have been applied to these different items, but first let's just test everything out. So here in slot 0, I've got my diamond sword. You can see it's pretty beat up, but over here in NBT Explorer, having a look in slot 0, we have item ID 276, that's the diamond sword, with a damage value of 806. So I'm pretty sure that that is definitely my diamond sword. If I were to replace it with these sticks, I need to refresh this file here in NBT Explorer just because of the way that it works. So if I do that and then have a look at my inventory again, in slot 0 we now have 16 ID 280, which is stick, and so this is definitely working. Now if I remove the sticks and put, let's say, this enchanted diamond sword here in slot 0, and let's just refresh that file once again, and let's have another look at the inventory and see what we get now. So here in slot 0, we have a sword, ID 276, and a damage value of 0, which we would expect to see. We also have this new subsection here called tag. Let's have a look inside of here. We have enchant, or ench, one entry, and inside of that 2 sub-entries, we have a level and an ID. So this, I would imagine, is an enchantment level of 1 and an enchantment ID of 2. What the heck is 2? I don't know. We're going to have to look these up and see what ID numbers correspond to what kind of enchantments. But what I want to do before I do that is have a look at the others. So let's put the diamond sword back. Let's take this diamond chestplate and pop it here in slot 1. I'll just refresh this file again, and we'll have a look down in my inventory. Again, same thing. Notice how it's now ID 311, that's the chest plate, and if we pop into this enchantment, it's also ID 2 level 1. And just to prove it, we'll replace it with these boots and refresh the file once more. And having another look at my inventory here and the enchantment information, same thing. Level 1 enchantment of enchantment ID 2. So what is enchantment ID 2? Beta 1.9 pre-release 3 does add a whole bunch of new enchantments, but as we've seen, we're only able to access one of them in-game, and that's ID number 2. So what are all of these enchantments? Well, I've got a bit of a spreadsheet up here that will help us take a look. Having a look here at this first group of them, ID 0 through 6, these are all enchantments that will apply to our armor. The next group here, 16 through 21, are all different enchantments that will apply to our sword, although I think it's possible to apply some of these to your axe, at least in future versions. Maybe it's not the case here, I'm not sure, but we can definitely experiment with this in the future. And this last group here are a list of enchantments that will apply to tools like your pickaxe and other items. So we can see here ID number 2 is feather falling, which actually means that we've applied feather falling to all of the items within this chest. So that now means that we've added some unobtainables to our collection, and that is a full set of armor with feather falling on each item and a full set of tools with feather falling on each item. So I'm pretty excited about that. As you know, in the base around here, I like my erratic elements, and we've got that up here with the spiders that randomly pop out of this hole and fall into the void, and also the chicken, which is supposed to be controlling these lava and water sources, but it's currently retired due to potential hazards of water and lava combining to make lava casts all over my ravine. But I've also added some erratic elements over here at these two XP grinders, the skeleton one and the spider one. I've installed some levers here. This one is whack and dump. When the lever is up, we're in whack mode, and when the lever's down, we're in dump mode. And let me just explain exactly what these do. Right now, you can come up to the spiders and just whack them while we're in whack mode, and eventually they'll die and you'll get your XP, or I can use a sword and make that process a lot quicker. If I change the farm and put it into dump mode, you'll see that a couple of pistons just activated, and that means that the spiders that are unfortunately in that block will die, but any other spiders behind will actually get trapped behind this block, and then they'll make their way up this column, this hole, which goes up into the ceiling here, and I'll show you what's going on there in a minute. We have exactly the same thing on the skeleton farm here. In whack mode, they'll fall down here into the killing chamber, and I'll be able to just kill them for XP. But right here, I've got a little hidden lever. Let's put that in dump mode, and that will now redirect the skeletons up here to this tube. The spiders are in there already, and the skeletons will now make their way down there as well. And they just pop their way out into the ravine. So if I come around here, you'll see a lot of spiders should now make their way out of that little channel and fall into the void. They're correctly aligned so that they'll fall directly into the void. Goodbye. And I love that. Another little chaotic element. So if we have these two XP grinders in dump mode, every now and then as we're just wandering around, some random mobs will fly out. And this is what I love. The skeletons. The skeletons add a little bit of an element of danger because as they come out of this, they're going to aim for the player if I'm within range. So there's a real chance that I could just be walking around the base and get an arrow to the backside or something like that. And that might get annoying, but I really kind of like it. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. You've all been very enchanting. Yes, we went there. I want to say thank you to all my wonderful patrons for supporting me, and if you would like to do the same, you can check out the links below, or just join the Discord, or click the super thanks button on YouTube to support me. There are all sorts of different ways you can do that. I'll see all of you in the next episode, but until then...
This has been Bugman CX. You've been watching Minecraft: The Journey. Bye bye.